Hello, and welcome to part 13. That's right, because this is going to be lucky number 13. My voice isn't quite what it's supposed to be normally to me. I don't sound quite right to me. I'm used to having a kind of a deep voice, but I've been having to do so many things today that I kind of just feel like I'm speaking like a little girl right now. So we'll just have to tolerate it. Or maybe I sound a bit more sensual than normal. So you'll just have to orgasm instead of enjoy yourself or something. I don't know. Okay, but as you can see, I got all the boys back. My congregation. We're gonna have a party. So I had to go back and replay this stupid metagen mission. This time it only took 2 tries. The first time, actually, it was going perfectly smoothly, now that I don't have to do audio recordings. But somehow Sepsis got himself killed, which is really weird because he was standing right beside me. And suddenly I hear like his death noise that he makes whenever he dies. And I looked over and there's just this fireball where he used to be. I don't know what hit him, but he died. So I restarted, and this time I actually just went straight for the convoy. I went right after the convoy, and thankfully, due to just RNG, just happenstance, I'm furling my arms out in a wide waving motion at the moment. But thanks to RNG, the metagens came down and gave them the pleasure of fucking them the ass. So they actually fought one another in the middle while I just stood back and watched. And also the artillery was bombarding the metagens at the same time, so I didn't get hit at all. And that was just pure luck. So as a result, I killed the convoy first, which is pretty easy. And then after that, I cleaned up the metagens, and that was it. It was a, like a 4-minute mission. Very, very easy. That's the way it should have gone. But unfortunately for me, the stuff you get in recordings apparently is just not up to snuff. Alright. So, let's see. I wanted to go ahead. I didn't write it down. I don't remember if I did this or not. You know, if I was smart, I would just re-watch the videos that are on the folder that I record to. It would be so easy. But that's no fun. That's no fun, is it? Okay. But all that's going on here is that Earth knows that it's fucked, and it's sending the final mission off to Pluto to try to kill Prometheus. Again, because that's how they win every single time. They threaten Prometheus. Prometheus just poops all in his little pants, little nuts and bolts just pouring out of his butthole. Just clanging all the way down his pants. And he flees off either to the moon or... Actually, in the first one, he just kind of just disappears. I think in the first one, actually, there wasn't a Prometheus at all. I can't remember. Everything's so muddled now. It seemed like in the second one, there wasn't even a Prometheus. It was just the headquarters. That's all... Because those 2 games didn't really have much of a story. It's just, go here and destroy this. You win! You're the winner! Yay! And of course, little 5-year-old you is like, yeah! Because that's what you sound like when you're 5. Anyways, Exemplar Sect acknowledge, submit, human animals. Victory attaches, that's weird, to the next. Your armies have failed. We control the skies. We have offlined your forces' warforms on the other landforms. That's strange. I guess he means continents. Giver of will is inviolate, untouchable. That's new. Your remaining forces offer merely... Ugh, these are rough. Delay, inefficiency, no hope of victory, triumph, improbability. Surrender, submit to the core directive. Further resistance, defiance is illogical. Bust in here. This is the Zeitgeist thing. I did look at these last time. And because I did mention that they were, most part, Titan is installed on Nexus. Yes, okay. So they are on their way to Pluto as we speak. Our mission, on the other hand, is going to be different.
Tactical status. Target Nova Alexandria is well fortified. Epimetheus, human leader prime, collected, hoarded, considerable resources. Problem. Trojan horse units failed to disrupt the humans' protective shields. Prolonged bombardment has not penetrated this defense. Solution. Proceed to Sector 2111. Destroy animal defensive posts outside Nova Alexandria. Other units shall follow. Hurt. Maim. Kill. Acknowledge. Submit.
Okay, so I really appreciate the fact that Nova Alexandria, of course this is the future, so a bunch of shit is renamed. Especially after the first 2 Earth sieges, all the major cities were wiped out, all sorts of shit has happened. So a lot of things have been rebuilt, so the major centers of population are not what they would be now. So if it seems weird to you that the capital city would be in Nova Alexandria, what's that? It's located in Egypt, obviously, with all the sand and pyramids just exploding in every direction. Yeah, it's good. It's Egypt. Right smack dab, right where the Nile, you know... Actually, I think the Nile drains... Does it drain up? Does it go north or south? I can't remember. Anyways, one of you Egyptians that are listening to this... no Egyptians listening to this. Could correct me on that one. But otherwise, let's take a look. This is how Epimetheus works. He collects everything and hoards it all for himself. Because all he's concerned about is protecting what he considers to be most important. Which, if you know anything about how old people work, that's how old people work. They kind of get focused on, you know, their life, and they kind of get to where they can't really see outside of it. That's one of the problems even with immortals and any side of in any sort of fiction of any kind, any setting, is it's a good thing that human beings die. Because if they didn't, imagine if, like, Napoleon was still alive, or, you know, even if someone hadn't killed them. Imagine if Ramses II was still alive, and he was still having kids with his, like, his daughters from, like, 50 generations back. It's just, it's a good thing we die, because if we didn't, life would be shit. Because people would congregate all this power like Epimetheus is doing, and they would never give it up. Because whenever you die, at least that disperses. There's a diaspora of information and resources. But in these sort of settings where that can't happen, it becomes a giant fucking mess. Okay, but anyways, Trojan horses, remember, Trojan horses are Cybrid brains implanted into human bodies. So our infiltrators are failing to get rid of all these defenses that are shielding the major defensive centers of Nova Alexandria. So we're going to go in there and we're going to just, you know, just kill them. That's all we're going to do. Nothing special here. This is an Olympian. This is the first time you've ever seen one in this playthrough so far. The reason why this is the first time you've actually seen them is because this is a rebel platform. This actually used to be like a, you know, like a mining, you know, platform. They had shit attached to it that was meant to transport materials or things like that. I think this was actually a cargo hauler. But this was retrofitted into a war form. And the reason why it's here is because all of the rebels that the knights, this is a knight, were fighting over on Mars have come back with the knights, and now they're making their last stand here on Earth. Well, of course, they do their final, something spear, like a cardinal spear, I think is what they called it in the human campaign. Back to Pluto. So we need to get there and we need to kill Epimetheus before that happens. While Epimetheus does his own thing. Alright, let's get started. Oh, jeez, it's... Oh, Lord. Actually, hold on. Sometimes Starsiege just kind of fucks up and, mod up. Sometimes Starsiege fucks up whenever I start tabbing in preparation for these things. Over here you can see 2 cloaked disruptors. I am not fooled. Fuck you. Oh yeah, I forgot I equipped Infax on this one. Wow, those are sturdy little things. Okay, I'll talk here in a second. I will mention that the stream that we did today... Oh, you really? Seriously? Shoot him! What are you guys doing? That the stream today... Oh, there are 3 of them? I don't remember that. Oh, I love these Infax. Oh, that's satisfying. And he's still cloaked! What an audacious little dickbag. Okay, thank God there is no, Do I have a Shift F1 command? I do, but it's not active right now. Okay, good. That means I don't have to rush like I did the last mission. God. But the Nuzlocke stream went well today. I modded some of that. You can probably go on Twitch and watch the replay of that, I guess. If that's how that works. I don't know. I don't use Twitch much because my internet is garbage! So I can't really stream things very well. Okay, anyways. I wanted to show you some weapon animations since I did that last time, but it didn't record. So I'm going to show you this. Isn't it neat how they do that? The imp just kind of... Actually, I thought that the imp... I'm pointing at the screen like a moron. I thought the imp, the little thing there, sort of, the sleeve kind of went up and down in a jacking off motion. But apparently now it just pistons down. Kind of disappointed now. It could have been far more sexual.
Execute core directive.
Really disappointing. Really disappointing dynamics. It could have been so much better. And I wanted to show you the Q gun, but since it's on another guy now, I might not be able to. I'll actually have to... I don't know, it's going to be rough. I'll try to do it if I can. But otherwise, thankfully, you can see the Pyramid of Giza. Is there only one? Maybe as soon as we clip the horizon, the skybox will show us more. And we're going to be assaulted by a few waves that are going to be incoming during this mission, but this is pretty much it. This is the next to final mission. This is the final siege for hours, yes. This is the final siege of Epimetheus' fortress. He is in there. We need to get to him. Oh, Lord. Oh, this is rough. This is really rough. We gotta get in there and we gotta just fill every hole that because he's got a lot of holes. Because if you saw him in the opening cinematic, he's had new holes drilled into him. So the stuff he was born with is probably full of, like, some sort of liquid, like, pheromones and hormones just pumping in and out of everything that he's got. And he's a mess. The reason why he looks like that, I have not mentioned, is because, remember, he has an organic brain like we do. But whenever you transfer them, I'm going to slow down so I can talk about that. But whenever you transfer them over to it, oh wow, that's rough. A little bit more than that, Executioner. But whenever you transfer your brain, your organic brain, into a new body, there's the risk of, which you would have found out if I had continued reading from the compendium, there's a risk that you will lose your mind. It's like going hollow. Because there's a cell drift, is what they call it. And whenever you move... I'm going to take a look at my map. Okay, we had these guys in preparation. They're going to launch off here as soon as we clip the horizon. Oh, that's it. Oh, Lord, look at that configuration. 2 weapons. An EMC and a blink gun. That is god-awful. In other words, we're going to be doing most of the work. No wonder they can't breach the defenses. But anyways, whenever you transfer a brain into a new body, there's a chance you might lose your mind, or your personality strays too far from what it used to be, or you just plain just go crazy. Which is what happened to most of the original Immortals. They either were killed by Trojan units, or they just went mad over time. And Epimetheus has been avoiding that as much as he can, and he's discouraged Herbeck, who, of course, as we know, is his son, who is now on his 3rd body. He's discouraged him from doing the same thing. So Epimetheus looks that way because he doesn't want to transfer his brain. Because if he does, he's concerned that cell drift is going to kick in, and he's either going to change enough for that to be a problem for Earth, or he's going to lose his mind. Okay, this is the final approach. No, don't stop. Oh Lord, what are you doing to me? Oh, I forgot. The number pad 0 actually makes you switch throttle. So you can, even if you hold forward, then you start going backwards. Okay, we should have console bombers. There they are, console bombers that are coming in from the side. Along with something else. What was that? This might be entirely Cybrid. I don't know if we have to shoot down any incoming flyers or not. Most of these should probably be destroyed in the primary assault. Okay. But we're going to crest over this horizon. Encounter quite a bit of resistance, actually.
Is this the right setting?
We don't want to crest this horizon. That's a really bad idea. Why don't you guys,
Watch it. More of them coming in.
defend my target. Why don't you guys go ahead of me, because I'm a slow bitch. We're going to try to avoid... Ooh. Incoming. We're going to try to avoid cresting the horizon, because, as you can see, there's a whole lot of shit coming at us. And we just need to keep moving. And we need to get at the very base of this hill, because then the artillery can't hit us. And also the turrets that are going to be sitting on top of this base are also not going to be able to hit us. Attack him. Okay. So Basilisk. Oh, I love these MFACs. But you can see how slow they are. But they're slow because you're shooting suns at people. Like, these are... I don't remember what the BS behind this science is, but you're basically creating tiny little stars. Oh, a Dreadlock! This is the first time you see Dreadlock. See, it has a little bitty thing on it. Here. See? He's about to die, but see? How adorable. Oh, he's dead. Okay, oh Jesus. See? Human inefficiency. Oh, geez, there's the Olympian. This is going to be the most heavily armed. We might... Okay, good, you got him. Because these missiles are the main threat. Okay, take out these forward turrets, and then we'll creep ahead. Do not crest the horizon, though. He'll probably get away. This is weird. I've never seen it kind of hang there like that before. Pull back. No sepsis. Do not go over. I would... As much as I want to kill everything on this whole mission, I really do not... Artillery, I think, is... No, they're still sitting there. They said that they were bugging out, but they're just kind of sitting there jerking off. Okay. Damn it. Yeah, it is going to probably get away. He might be able to get him with those blasters. I switched out his elves for blasters. Because I got tired of him dying in close quarters combat. This is the reason why you don't want to crest over the hill. The ones that don't have night painting, or whatever, night skins, are Terran warforms, which means that they're a little bit more heavily armored, but they mount shittier equipment. Okay, there we go. Get this little asshole off of me. All of you still alive? Good. Everyone's still alive. And you haven't seen these either. This is a very, very early Martian platform. And we need to clear out these. Those are not a threat. Clear out these first. Actually, get him if you can. Which is probably an unwise move on my part, but I really want to kill everything that I possibly can. Because again, I'm a min-maxing faggot. Gotta love it. Haha, yes. Okay. Oh, an E-Man. Emancipators. These are great. You never get access to the Outrider, I don't think. This is like a campaign-only sort of deal. But they're so cute. And they get to mount MFACs. Like the very top mount. I think he might actually... No, he has a blaster. But that top mount is actually an extra large mount. So it's pretty common in multiplayer to see people mounting MFACs on these things. Or Q-guns, maybe, in some rare circumstances. And this being a huge nuisance. Because again, MFACs deal enough damage, as you can see, that they can be a fairly big problem. Almost got me down there. I've lost a lot of shield power, but thankfully I'm in this Executioner. So it's not a huge deal. Oh lord, this rendering. Well, get out of the way so I can help you. These are not my friends. Well, these are my friends, but they're not my hubmates. And we have some more coming in. Good lord. I really need to be... Damn it, they're fighting over here. Is everyone's... Nah, I lost sepsis again. Oh, lost Plague Dog. He's dead. Well, I guess this is going to be another mission I have to replay. Maybe. I'll explain that in a second. But, oh lord. I really need to finish these guys off, though. Because I might die, because I'm really low on energy, and I'm having a bunch of trouble getting it back. Thankfully, I have these other guys to act as distraction. Come on, trying to get his reactor. There we go. Okay. And that should be it as far as resistance goes. You can see this area is pretty well defended. Not in terms of its placement, but just a whole bunch of warforms were here. And of course, due to the limitations of 1999 technology, I imagine this sort of is one of those deals where, sure, you're only fighting like 20 things, but it probably represents a huge wave of like hundreds of them.
Nova Alexandria is compromised.
Repeat, compromised. Okay, that's it. Mission successful. And we only have one more after this, I'm pretty sure. I've said that more than once, but I'm pretty sure that we only have one left.
Destroyer of
fucking task force.
First, you have again executed directives with unparalleled efficiency.
Unparalleled?
The core directive proceeds, advances within acceptable parameters. We, the next, begin final core directive subroutines. Homeworld desire shall soon be evolved, enlightened. Praise, giver of will.
Okay. Lost sepsis, lost plague dog. But I killed a whole bunch of shit. We had some more friendlies. These are, I think, one of the shepherds, one of the adjudicators is mine. The rest are just NPCs. Okay. And let me go ahead and fix this. The fucking taskbar is making its way into the recording. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes Starsiege just does that on its own. Okay. But let's go ahead and get these out of the way. I don't understand why they suddenly decided to do this. Hey, y'all hearing us in there, humans? Listen, we've won. You're just delaying the inevitable. We've destroyed your water purifiers, burned your fields, killed your children, and freed your animal slaves. Why not surrender? We'll provide decent terms, after all. We've gotten what we want. You're no threat to us now. Why not make peace? Which is the Cybrid's way of saying, why not put your guns down so we can shoot you while you're defenseless? Oh, I love it. I love you, Cybrids. Okay, this is Cardinal Spear. This is the final last-ditch effort to kill Prometheus. And of course, as I said, Canaan is dead in this timeline. In the human timeline, he would still be alive, and he would be with them right now. And maybe that's what makes the difference. I don't know. It's not clear exactly what is the major defining factor in these two, in this schism between the timelines. It might be me, the player. It might be the player character. It might be the fact that since you are playing such a major part in the story, then just your tiny little, individual successes have amounted to this moment. Approaching Pluto now. Looks like our Trojan horse gambit is working. Sure it is. In a few minutes, we'll be ready to fire our drop pods. Yeah, that's not going to go well. Not as well as in the human campaign. I think I'm going to read all the rest of these. Suggesting offering collect captured human animals. Place impale them on sharp structures in view of location designate Nova Alexandria. Let Epimetheus see witness record the pain of his children spawn offspring. So we're going to take all their children, right? We're going, well, not just their kids. I'm reading into that too much. But, we're going to take them, what's left of them, and impale them on spikes and put them outside of the gates of Nova Alexandria. I love Cybrids for this. I know some of you guys are, oh, that's so terrible. It is terrible. That's what's so great about it. Get hype, motherfuckers. Okay, example set, ninth planet, acknowledge, submit. Human animals intrusion detected, core nexus, Gehenna. Maximum response, retaliation procedures, all available units, proceed hasten, defending giver of will, execute protocol, blah 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 blah. They are there on Pluto. But the animals have reached optimal targeting range. Commence to initiate fire all defensive batteries. We'll see how that goes in a moment. Human news report. The Cybrids are relentless. They're attacking around the clock. Clean water is running out. Our soldiers are exhausted. Each day sees new and remarkable acts of heroism. Sure it does. The Grandmaster Herbeck seems tireless. He has kept spirits up and our defenses firm. The Emperor has retreated to the palace, saying simply, "We will never surrender. There is always hope." Now, I might be misremembering this, but this seems to imply that Herbeck is on Earth. And it seems like in the human campaign, there's the implication that there are imposters for both Canaan and Herbeck. I might be misremembering this, though, because it's been like 12 or something years since I've read any of this. That, they are and we think that we killed them, but we actually didn't. They're actually with them on Pluto. So I'm not sure if this is actually Herbeck or not. I'm assuming that it is, and they never actually left with the Cardinal Spear project. So he isn't there either. Or maybe he is. I don't know. It seems to leave it open either way. Okay, observing, reporting the human demoralization program appears successful, sufficient. Infiltrator units bearing likeness of cannon weathers, children, medical personnel, refugees have eliminated 86,382 human-animal adults, 104,416 children. Projected impact on human-animal combat and logistics efficiency motivation is severe excellent. Okay. So we are actually sending infiltrator units in that are supposed to look like they're heroes. And then their heroes are murdering them. Yes! You see, this is how war used to be like in the Middle Ages. Like, you think, oh, well, they set up outside the castle, and they bombarded the castle, and they went in, and they killed him. It was really heroic. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. What they would do is that they would set a perimeter seal off all roads and anything leading into the castle. Because remember, castles all, even like townships, townships around castles and so on, were all sealed off for these reasons. So they were naturally barricaded against invaders, but at the same time, they also were limited in their access to supplies. So normally, whenever someone invaded, they didn't assault the castle. That's a death sentence. What they would do is starve them. They would starve them, catch people outside, decapitate them, put their heads on pikes, launch the remains of their severed bodies into the castle perimeter. They would take diseased animal corpses and launch them inside, hoping to spread plague inside of the defensive perimeter. That's how war was. You don't fuck around with war. There's no honor in war. You're just trying to kill them. Honor is bullshit. There is no such thing in war. And the Cybrids know this. And it's especially true because they're artificial life. They don't give a shit. They don't have ethics. Ethics to them is just a fascinating subject. That's what's so great about them. Exemplar sec, acknowledge, submit. Human demoralization program has approaches. Potential completion. Advise leak to human-animal leadership identity location of heretic infiltrator units. Inform advise machinator sect of unacceptable heretical figures trends. Revelation unveiling of so many infiltrators will advance demoralization to completion. This is even better. Because what they're doing now is they have Trojan units, infiltrator units, inside of the human population. And they're still there, they haven't been found out, but it's too late. And the Cybrids are now intentionally telling the humans, this is who they were, this is who fucked you. And now the humans, they kill these infiltrators, but it doesn't matter, because their work is already done. One less middle finger from these infiltrators is the fact that the infiltrators are willing to die for this cause of demoralizing the human beings. Isn't that great? Isn't the fact that they are willing to die, they don't give a shit. It's like, we just want to depress you. Our last thing that we will do in our life is just to make you feel bad. And that makes us happy. Machinator sec, we anticipated the occurrence of heretic tendencies toxins in the infiltrator units. Trojan horses. In acknowledgement, submission to Exemplar 6 concerns, we triggered remote termination procedures and destroyed all infiltration units. We also have some interesting gossip about Inquisitor sect. So there is some infighting going on, even among the loyal Promethean sects. Some of the Trojan horses actually have developed their own heretical tendencies. Some of them are metagens now, because living amongst the humans, they had developed human traits. And even though you might think I don't like that, I do like that, because it also humanizes them at the same time, and makes you really wonder what is the distinction between these artificial life forms and the humans. That's what I like about settings like this. Not necessarily that it's just a bunch of, slaughter and everything else, but it also kind of makes you think about what's wrong with you as a person, as a human being. Now to submit, information regarding Inquisitor sect unit cooperation with human-animal intelligence shows proves damns Inquisitor sect leadership. Dispatch line warforms to remove and mobilize identified leader units for redaction. Repeat procedure operation with Machinator sect leaders. So the Machinators, who are the ones that are, they're sort of the controls of the missions. They're the ones, they're not the collectors necessarily so much as the organizers. They're being blamed internally as far as cyber politics go for all this shit that's going down. So that doesn't really add anything to the plot so much as it just makes it a little bit more clear what the Cybrids are. Like, they're almost human in a way. They have their own problems. Voice of the Alliance. Inconclusive reports indicate the Cybrids are fragmenting, that groups of them are abandoning Earth. Hold on, people, something's going on, and we have to be ready to strike back. We're not done yet. I guess this is to add just a little bit more of a imperative for you, the Cybrid player, because this also happens in the human campaign. The Cybrids... The thing about the Cybrids is all this time they have been preparing for a war with humanity, but they didn't really know anything about humanity because, again, all these modern Cybrids with their individual personalities and all that going on, this is all new. This is a new experiment by Prometheus because he thinks that by granting sapience to all individuals within the Cybrid collective, that is going to enhance the whole of the the Cybrid Collective. But this is having a detrimental effect that he didn't foresee. That we're actually starting to fragment, and the Medigen sort of conspiracy is just going completely out of hand. And in the human campaign, this works, of course, to your advantage. In the Cybrid campaign, we're just trying to end the war before this gets out of hand. Because there's sort of there's politic behind it, and that we have our own soldiers that we want to do the job before they start thinking for themselves. Does that sound familiar? It does to me. Alright, remember these guys, the dystopian snowmen. We're not done yet? Someone's breathing too much ethanol. So what if the Cybrids are squabbling? Let's blow this popsicle stand now. Forget old Peter boy holed up in his palace. Let's go find some rockets to ride or some razors to swallow, because this party is over. They have given up. They're ready to commit suicide or whatever. The DSRI, I can't say that correctly, that took off from Venus, I can't remember if we saw that in news reports if it has been destroyed or intercepted yet. I remember in Starsiege 2845, Blake Hutchins pinned the idea that they actually got away, and they actually settled on another planet by the 2800s, the late 2800s. So as far as canon goes, they have basically been forgotten. Like, we've already succeeded. So if there was a Starsiege 3, that was like the roots of it. If there was a Starsiege 3, that's probably what it would have been about. Like the DSRI coming upon the Cybrid survivors, or something like that. Would have been interesting. Oh well, didn't take off. Grandmaster Herbeck has issued a challenge to avenge his brother Kanan. We'll see if the glitch responsible has the spine to accept the challenge. The Grandmaster's valor and courage are all an example, or an example for all of us. Our hopes and prayers are with you, Herbeck. Okay. Oh, I ran out of water. My throat's dry. This is the final mission. Herbeck has challenged us, me, you, the player, has challenged us to a one-on-one duel. I'll explain more of that in part 14. I will say that for one last part of the Cybrid campaign. Last one for the Cybrids. Exemplar sect. Acknowledge, submit. Dispatch elite units to destroy, remove, excise animal designate Herbeck. Then initiate full offensive attack on resistant, stubborn, static humans. This is the last phase. As soon as we kill Herbeck, that's it. Their last great hero will be dead. War timeline. I won't go over all of these. I'll go ahead and let you read some of these, because my throat is absolutely destroyed at this point. Oh, Lord. But it's looking good for us. And in the human campaign, you would think, it's looking good for the humans. No, it looks even worse. As destroyer of animals first, that's me. Set forth to confront Phoenix Predator, Prometheus, enacted the final protocol of the core directive, unleashing the elite units of the next upon Nova Alexandria. So this is it. This is going to be the final mission. Let's go over my notes one last time. The only thing I wanted to really mention is, and the last thing I wanted to go over the concept of battle values and how it relates to soul level and soul memory in Dark Souls. I'll just kind of briefly touch on that. There was recently a patch that people thought might address the whole idea of soul levels and soul memory in Dark Souls 2. Just to briefly explain it, soul memory is the idea that, let's make up a theoretical game. In this theoretical game, you gain experience by killing enemies. And in this theoretical game, there is no cap on the amount of levels that you can gain. There's no level 100. There's no level 80 or whatever the maximum cap usually is for the games you play. You just keep going. You keep leveling up individual stats until they reach the maximum of whatever it is, whether it's 99, whether it's 255, whatever. That's the idea of soul memory, that you can keep doing that forever, but at the same time, it only matches you based on the amount of experience that you have accumulated over time. So if you have killed 1,000 enemies and each enemy gets you 1 experience, you have 1,000 experience. If you are at maximum level, say you have 99 in every stat, as a result of that 1,000 experience, then you would still be matched against another guy that has 1,000 experience but spent most of that on other things. So as a result, he might be much weaker than you are. Like, say, I'm an executioner and he would be a seeker or a goad. And in that case, he would be at a severe disadvantage because of that soul memory system, that experience memory system. And the soul level system, or a experience level system, is what you would expect. It's, there's a maximum level, or it's the idea that you're only matched to people of your level. Like if you're level 100, you're only matched against people that are sort of near level 100 and so on. In Starsiege, there is a somewhat similar system. And that is called the combat value system in Starsiege, and in MechWarrior it is called the battle value system. And the idea of that is that each one of these items has their own individual combat value, as you can see here. It is a numerical value. And the more that you put on to your thing, whatever it happens to be, the more that your combat value goes up. This is effectively sort of an SL rating. It's actually, this is an in-between of soul memory and soul level. This is why I'm bringing this up. The distinction is that, say, you have a maximum battle value set for a multiplayer map. So something like this would not be available. You could probably bring in Executioner, but you would probably only be able to mount something like heavy lasers or something. If you put on like a Theta shield generator. You couldn't have everything. Like this is Havel's. This is a giant dad configuration. This is bullshit. Starsiege works a little bit differently. It's not overcomable or anything. Like, it's more of a problem in Dark Souls. But this would be like a very high-end platform. If you set the BV too low, then I wouldn't be able to use something like this. And I bring this up just for the people that are playing Dark Souls at the moment, because I'm kind of associated with that now. To me, that would be the perfect way to fix both of these issues. Where you have people that might level up too far, and now they can't be matched with anyone, which is a problem in Dark Souls 1, because the standard PvP SL in Dark Souls 1 was around 120. And some people would go up to like 150 or something, because they just felt like it. And as a result, they couldn't find people to be matched up against whenever doing invasions or whenever they're summoning help or whatever. So they wanted to fix this, so in Dark Souls 2 they added the soul memory system, which I have already explained, and that created new problems wherein you hit an expiration date for your character, in which you hit the maximum memory tier, and you would start, even if you wanted to play a goad, you would be fighting nothing but executioners almost. Which is a problem, because since you have no limitations, builds cease to have any meaning. And since builds cease to have any meaning, then because the limitations aren't there, it's no longer fun for some people. But if you're the type of person that wants to see nothing but executioners, final destination, that sort of thing, then, you really don't mind. So it ended up being a huge step back for some people, and for most people, just kind of a lateral thing where it's not good either way. But if in your game, like a Dark Souls game, or this game or whatever, you have a battle value system, then it's only a matter of what you build as far as your limitations go. Like a way to do it in Dark Souls would be to hit a maximum level cap of, say, 100 or something, but you could keep leveling up for PvE only. Like your requirements, like if you had like 10 strength and you kept leveling up and you had like 15 strength at level 120 because you went past 100, then those additional levels will not count towards any requirements you would have for actually using a weapon or something like that, so you wouldn't be able to wield it. So in terms of PvP, it would have balance, but in terms of PvE, then you would be able to catch up with things as you go into New Game Plus and so on. That's my solution to the problem, or one of the ideas that I've had. In Starsiege, this did not work especially well because people just wanted to use the best thing that they could use. Because this isn't that kind of game. It's not a numbers rule everything sort of game necessarily. Like you can kill someone with a goad, or you can kill an executioner with a goad pretty easily. It's not a big deal. So the idea of battle value kind of fell flat in Starsiege for that reason, because again, this was more of a Quake sort of game that they were trying to create. But as you can tell, ideas like that are really complicated to implement into any sort of PvP environment, mainly because of the way that the meta is going to shift inside of any game that you make. In Dark Souls, the meta kind of shifted towards... In Dark Souls 1, it was all about backstabbing. I fucking hate criticals in Dark Souls games. I really wish that they would just get rid of criticals entirely. And in Starsiege, in Dark Souls 2, the meta is more shifted towards just stacking massive amounts of armor. And you still go for backstabs and stuff, obviously, but it's more about creating tons and tons of defense and just piling numbers on top of numbers. Another example is Guild Wars 1. Guild Wars 1 was more about utility. It was more about denial. It was about interrupting people. It was about keeping people locked into position and things like that. That's the reason why Guild Wars 1 is kind of shitty as it was very popular amongst the PvP crowd, because it was a really, really good PvP game that needed work, which is why people were anticipating Guild Wars 2. And Guild Wars 2 ruined that by pulling their own soul memory taboo, and they focused more on numbers. Like, how many buffs you can put on top of yourself. How many cookies can you eat to gain even more buffs? And, what skills can you use in conjunction with other players to raise your damage stat even more? And it just keeps going like this. And so Guild Wars 2 ended up becoming, last I checked anyways, I don't even give a shit about that shitty-ass game anymore. Ended up becoming a game that was completely centralized around numbers. How many numbers that you can get. So there was no real utility behind anything. It was boring as a result. It was a shitty PvP game because all of their focus was on the wrong things. And Dark Souls 2 kind of has not quite as big of a problem. It has a very similar problem. Whenever you're designing a game, it's very easy to create these minor problems that pile on top of one another. And the problem, the kind of disappointment with Dark Souls 2 is that they did it with the best of intentions. And in Starsiege, they did it with the best of intentions. They wanted to create a mech game that was not slow and boring. That was their primary concern. And the result was this. And this is not great. It was heading in the right direction in some places, and in others, they just got it completely wrong. So they kind of ended up falling flat just based on very small errors. Always be careful of very small errors, I guess. That's the lesson to that. Anyways, I'll go back and I'll revive the two idiots. I'll revive Sepsis. Plague Dog. Plague Dog actually died. Can you believe it? He was immortal this whole time, and he dies on the next to last mission. Oh well. But our very next thing we're going to be doing in part 14, which will be the very last... Well, it will be the very last mission. What I might do is, again, just do a reading-only episode or something. I don't know. Maybe in between the... this and the human campaign, if I choose to go ahead with that. But that will be the last one in part 14. So that'll be it for that. I'm 32 years old, by the way, for those wondering. Pat and Wooly made the mistake of opening their fat mouths about that. But I will see you guys in part 14, and I will complain more about Dark Souls then, which is completely unrelated. I've been playing Dark Souls 1 again, because what I'm preparing for is, if I can get a new PC fairly soon, which I really hope I can do after the Patreon thing, then I will get a new PC and try to do a Dark Souls 1 playthrough. Right now, I'm playing it at like 15 frames per second, so I obviously can't record it now. I was playing through it, and I was just blown away by how much I enjoyed it compared to 2. 2 is too fucking fast. Everything is too fucking fast. And I farmed up and I got the Black Sword Knight drop, and I one-shot the Taurus Demon, which I was very happy about. That really made my day. Too bad you couldn't have been there. Oh well. If I could only stream. If I could only stream. Okay, anyways, I will see you guys in part 14. I will see you then.